Manchester United, let's touch on some points. First of all, I can reveal to you today that in the next days there will be the first visit of the next Manchester United signing. Here we go, at the end of September, Cristian Orozco, Colombian, 17 years old, coming from Fortaleza. $1 million is the transfer fee, but Man United believe that the value of this boy is going to be way higher very soon. Orozco is arriving in England very soon to complete the formal steps of his move. So in the next days, we will see Orozco signing his contract at Manchester United and starting the process to complete his move to Manchester United from 2026, from the summer when he will turn 18 years old. So this is a signing for the future, but Orozco is seen as a huge talent by Manchester United. Of course, South American football is not Premier League football, so we have to see development, but Orozco is coming, and that's an important news for Manchester United future, coming from Fortaleza for $1 million. Then many questions, guys, on midfielders. I told you, Man United will go in on a midfielder in 2026. Could be two between January and summer transfer window. Depends also on what happens with Casemiro. Many questions on the name of João Gomes. We have many reports on João Gomes in the recent hours. João Gomes, guys, is one of the names under considerations at Manchester United. João Gomes is appreciated, is seen as an opportunity eventually if Wolves decide to let the player go in January. So let's say that Man United have some top targets for 2026, might be summer rather than January, because in the January window it's not easy to do this kind of deals. Baleba, Elliot Anderson and more. But João Gomes is not in that kind of step for Manchester United, so it's not considered like an absolute priority, but eventually an opportunity if Wolves decide to let the player go in January. So João Gomes could be one to watch, with the player very keen on a move to Manchester United, even without European football this season. So João Gomes would be more than happy to go to Man United, but this depends on what happens with Wolves and if Man United want to go for an opportunity or wait for their absolute top priorities. So let's see what's going to happen there, but this is the status with João Gomes. Many questions also on Conor Gallagher, guys. Man United tried in the final hours of the summer transfer window to get Conor Gallagher on loan. That was not possible. Atletico Madrid always said permanent transfer or nothing. And Atletico Madrid remain in that position. They want around 30-35 million euros for Conor Gallagher. At the moment, they are not opening the doors to a loan move. Let's see if the situation can change in January. But in general, in 2026, might be January, might be summer, Conor Gallagher has the chance to make an important move. Because for Conor Gallagher, there are opportunities, many clubs interested. There are several clubs pushing already to understand the situation, not only in England. And so this is why Conor Gallagher will be one to watch. For Man United, was seen, again, similar to João Gomes, as an opportunity, not a top, absolute top priority. An opportunity they were considering in the final days of the summer transfer window. Was not possible to go with that formula with a loan. Let's see what happens in January. Because again, for Man United will depend on the financial cost of the deals in terms of new midfielder and also the priorities. Baleba, Elliot Anderson, these names are the priorities. Then, if they will have an opportunity on the market, these could be some to watch. Again, with João Gomes, again, with Conor Gallagher, but on Gallagher, several clubs interested, and so let's follow the situation because he could leave Atletico Madrid in 2026.
Now stand by for some strong words from Paul Scholes. He says he was surprised by Ruben Amorim's stubbornness in not changing his system when facing Everton's 10 men in the Monday Night Football. He says it felt like one step forwards and two steps back at times during Amorim's year in charge, but he still feels they will be challenging for European places at the end of the season.
It's a really tough job for him. We know that. Many people have come and failed since Sir Alex. And like I say, you feel like you're making a step forward and two steps back almost all the time. Look, it's a lot's made of the formation. I thought the other night was a big stubbornness towards it, really. If you think of the back three, Gary was mentioning it on commentary all the time, and you could feel the frustration in them, the frustration in the fans, and frustration in all of us that he didn't change it, because to have three against virtually nobody at times, it felt strange that you bringing an extra attacker or a player on. So look, I think that it's still a work in progress. They're still not in a great position in the league. They've obviously had a poor season last year, and it'll be looking to improve. I think the league's so tight, or even from second right down to where Man United are, 10th, 11th, 10th, I think. So a couple of wins, and all of a sudden you're back flying again, and you're in positions where you'd like to think they can compete for, especially a European place this season.
While both Scholes and his former teammate Nicky Butt feel Kobbie Mainoo has stagnated under Amorim. Mainoo, a stand-up player for England in the Euros in 2024, hasn't started a league game this season, and Butt says he should consider moving on if he doesn't feature more regularly.
Yeah, I'm worried about him because he's a superstar. He's got into the England team at 18, 19, was one of the best performers in the Euros for us. He's come through the academy at Man United from the age of 7. He was there when I was there as academy manager. I know him as a person, I know him as a young boy, I know him as a young man. I know the talent that he's got. And the scary thing for me is if Kobbie Mainoo was playing for Crystal Palace, example, if he was at any other football club, bar Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, where it's hard to get players out of, Man United would be in for him in January for 50, 60 million, and it's sad because I know how much he loves football, I know how much he loves the football club. More importantly, as we all do, we know the talent that he's got, and it is a waste, and he's a player that we could do with. For a player of his ilk, he shouldn't be going on loan. Either the club want you or you leave. It's looking like the club don't see him as a starting 11, which for me is bizarre, with some of the players that are playing. So if I was his advisor, I'd be saying, look, if you don't get in that starting 11 pretty soon, you need to go and get a new club that's going to value you, going to help your career go forward, and going to get you to the levels that you should be at, and we all know you should be at.
That's probably one of the most disappointing things for me is Kobbie Mainoo not being involved in this Manchester United team, because we saw how good he was 18 months, 2 years ago, and for some reason it's not quite happened. The manager doesn't seem to quite fancy him, but we all know the qualities he has, but the manager's just for some reason preferring somebody else, and that's something he has to deal with. I think he's dealt with it quite well at this minute, but at some point he will get frustrated, and as I'm frustrated with watching Manchester United at times as well, and especially with Kobbie Mainoo, because homegrown talent, we don't have many of them anymore.
Manchester United are moving aggressively in the transfer market as the club closes in on a sensational triple swoop involving Cristian Orozco, Conor Gallagher, and João Gomes. According to early reports, United have accelerated negotiations on all 3 deals, with senior figures at Old Trafford confident of sealing at least 2 signings before the window intensifies. Orozco's camp is said to be enthusiastic about the project. Gallagher's situation is being monitored closely as Chelsea weigh their options, while Wolves midfielder João Gomes is viewed as a crucial piece for the club's long-term rebuild. Sky Sports sources indicate that United have already held advanced internal discussions regarding fee structures and squad integration plans for the trio. The club's recruitment department believes these potential arrivals would bring energy, balance, and renewed competitiveness to Amorim's midfield. With momentum building and breakthrough talks expected shortly, Manchester United's January window is rapidly shaping up into one of the most explosive in recent years.